My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, New Jersey, the Dream City. As every Sunday at 7 p.m., we have a very special guest. And tonight we have Liceny Espaillat, who is an attorney. I will say that she is a great attorney. And believe it or not, she doesn't live in Union City, but her roots, educational, was in Union City. Liceny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, thank
Very
you.
good. I'm very happy that you are here sitting down for this conversation.
I'm happy to be here.
Very good. What is your full name?
My full name is Liceny Espaillat.
And that's very good.
Yes.
And I think I know you.
Yeah, you do know me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions and feel free to answer the best as you could answer. And if you don't feel confident answering, you can tell me, Kennedy, I cannot answer that.
Okay.
This program is about to inform the Union City community, the Dream City, educational, could be in general, and I know that you could bring a lot of information because your background as attorney, okay? Tell the community, Union City community, the Dream City, a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in the Dominican Republic, and my mom and I moved to Union City when I was 3 years old. And I went to Washington School.
Washington School?
Yeah, that's where I did kindergarten. And then I
Guess what?
What?
I did my student internship at Washington School.
You did?
Yes,
okay,
as a
I didn't
music
know
teacher.
that. Okay. Yeah, it's a great school. And then after that, I went to Jefferson Annex, which is a gifted and talented program that Union City used to have. And then we moved to North Bergen, and that's where I graduated.
Do you remember any of the teachers in Union City?
No, I don't. I mean,
not by name, but by faces.
By face,
and
I definitely
things happening during the classes.
I do, and I take it back. I remember Mrs. LaPerry. She was my third grade teacher, and she was a great impact.
And why you consider that she was a good teacher?
Well,
it is important for us because
I just remember her really caring about the students, and I remember I have a memory of after the CATs, she came in and she brought a spaghetti and meatballs for everyone, and she put I know, and it was delicious. I remember that very plainly.
And one of the reasons here for this YouTube program is to remember things, because you say, and then I moved to North Bergen, but the roots are the most important thing.
Yeah.
So the base of the education that you now have, everything is started right here in Union City. And that's why you are here.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then after Union City, where did you go?
I moved to North Bergen. Well, my family bought a house in North Bergen, and that's where we stayed, and that's where I graduated high school.
Very good. Were you a good student?
Yes.
All the time?
I was always a good student, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to check your...
You could check my records.
I understand that you are an attorney, but we're going to be talking about that later on.
Okay.
Tell me something about where did you live in Union City? I mean, specifically, just one place or just...
Yes, I remember clearly. It was 43rd Street and Bergen Line Avenue.
Very famous corner there.
Very famous corner.
The chickens, things in there.
And isn't it now called Celia Cruz Boulevard?
Yes. It's around
like
there.
Yeah.
It's around there. I understand that when you finished high school, you went to Virginia for college. Why?
I wanted to get out of the area. I wanted to explore the country, and I love the beach, so Virginia just felt right.
How was the school in there? The environment, educational matters, and things like that.
Educationally, it was a great area. I did miss New Jersey a lot. Growing up in such a large area with so much diversity like Union City has, that was the one thing that I missed that I didn't have in Virginia.
And I'm glad you mentioned the diversity in Union City. When you were in school in Virginia, sometimes you thought about Union City?
I did all the time. I thought about, and just hanging out with my friends.
Bergenline Avenue.
Bergenline Avenue, all the shopping we do there. So it was bittersweet. I enjoyed Virginia, but I missed home.
Liceny, I understand because we have common friends between us. And everybody said that you are a great attorney. Do you believe that?
I mean, I do believe it, but we could always do better. So it's one of those things where I do my job as best as I can. I have great supervisors.
Are you responsible?
I'm a responsible. Every attorney has to be responsible.
I'm going to tell you something. Don't get mad at me, okay? Because I say, attorneys, lawyers, they lie a lot, but they even have the license to lie. Why?
I think it's because we work with a lot of loopholes, and the common public, they don't necessarily understand that those loopholes are there for a particular reason. I mean, that's the way the law is written, is to make sure that there are ways.
It is part of the profession.
It's part of the profession, exactly.
It's not that you or she or he is a liar. No, it's part of that.
Well, not the lies. I would hate to say that the lies are part of the profession. We don't lie.
I understand that. You know why? Because me as a musician, if I make a lot of mistakes in the middle of the concert, I have to lie. I have to put notes that are not on the score. So it's part of the...
Yeah, there's a lot of improvisation that's done in law.
And that's what I mean. Don't take it wrong, right?
Yeah, no, I know you're just joking with me.
Very good. And now I understand that you are working in where? In
Newark. I work in Newark.
What is the name of the institution that you are working for?
I work for Essex Newark Legal Services, which is part of the Legal Services of New Jersey. And I'm in the housing unit.
The housing unit. Can you explain a little bit about the duties in a housing unit?
The duties in the housing unit. Well, we mostly defend against evictions for non-payment or for holdover, which is basically when you have like a breach of contract or some other reason that the landlord is trying to evict you.
What is the most common characteristics of an eviction? It's because the tenant, they don't pay?
Usually the most common is non-payment, especially now with everything that happened with the pandemic and everything after that. Non-payment is definitely what we see most in court.
And you know that I work as the administrator of rent control in Union City, and I deal with lawyers and everything. But I think that lawyers now that dedicate the time to help tenants, they are getting a very hard time now, tough time.
It's difficult, especially because we've run out of a lot of the money, a lot of the funds that were helping the tenants pay their back rent. We're running low with all the other funds.
Do they have the rental assistance program in there?
Yeah, well, there's county programs, there's state programs, and there's city programs too. It just depends where you go. And then you also have nonprofits. Do
you remember what is the main requirements for those tenants that they couldn't pay or can't pay the rent to qualify?
Well, one of the things you have to qualify for is to have the ability to pay the rent moving forward.
Important.
Most of my clients, that's where they're hitting a brick wall. If they can't show that they can pay the money moving forward, that's where they get into trouble.
Do they have to be low-income family?
For them, it depends. It really depends on what
every
program.
case is unique.
Yeah, and it depends on the program you go through too.
To be a great lawyer, tell me the colors of things that you need to be a great attorney.
Patience. Tolerance. You have to be quick on your feet to think about whatever the process is that you're facing in the moment. The improvisation, as I was saying earlier. And you have to love to read.
A lot of reading.
A lot of reading.
Do you like to read?
I do not like to read.
That's good to know, but I know you are very smart. Sometimes it's not how much you read, it's the quality in reading.
Exactly. It's not the quantity, it's the quality.
Tell me about professional experiences like membership in boards and things like.
Oh, well, for example, I'm a member of the Essex County Board
Okay.
and the New Jersey Bar Association. And those are usually the ones that most lawyers go to. Now, if you're an immigration attorney, for example, you might be part of an immigration organization as well. I'm not part of any housing organization at the moment.
Okay. Have you had experience working in immigration department?
Yes, I did.
Can you
work,
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did immigration law for the first year and a half that I practiced law in New Jersey. I worked for a private firm, and we did a lot of family-based mostly, which is, well, it's what it sounds like. It's family-based instead of business-based immigration.
Which one did you enjoy more? Working with tenants, issues, or immigration?
That's kind of a tricky question.
Hey, I told you.
Yeah, you're putting me on the spot. I think because I'm an immigrant, I have a soft spot for immigration law. All my family migrated here from the Dominican Republic. We all had the wonderful opportunity to come to Union City, and all of our roots are here in Union City. So immigration law, that definitely is where my heart is. But I love my job, and I love what I do working with tenants. Here
in Union City, this is the dream city. It is really the dream city because we have a lot of good things, assistance programs and recreation program, the best schools in, that's what I say, and that's the number says in New Jersey. Have you pictured yourself sometimes in life working here in Union City, helping the people in terms of immigrations and tenants and things like that? Have you thought about that?
Well, I love my job, so I haven't really actively thought to look anywhere else, but I would consider moving back to Union City. I've actually considered in the process of when I go to purchase a home, because of the fact that my roots are here and because it's a great city.
And this
to
is
live
one
in.
of the reasons that I ask you, because I know when you came from Dominican Republic, you said that you were living on 43rd Street and went to school in Union City. And those are the things that when you grow up, you keep in mind. If I like a city, once in life, I'm going to try to go back. Now, as an attorney, probably in the future, it will be a good opportunity for the city and for yourself to, to try different things.
Yeah, I definitely, Union City has always been a part of my heart. And I always will.
And I know that you still shopping around, dining.
Yes.
That.
Well, I come to Union City at least once a week to visit family for my son who takes piano classes.
Okay. And who is the teacher?
And you are the teacher.
Okay. And that's why that's why you are here, because I consider yourself and your family a Union City family.
Oh, thank you.
Ethan, your kid is very smart.
Thank you.
He plays the piano very good, and he has a good future.
Yes.
And I want to see you and your family moving back to Union City.
Well, I mean, if you find us a home, I'll sign the dot.
We're going to be working on that.
Okay.
Listen, I read in your biography something about that you have had experience working with children and child protective services.
Yes.
Can you educate me on that? What is that?
So Child Protective Services, also known as CPS, here I believe it was called DIFAS before.
DIFAS, yes.
Yes. So I went to law school in Texas, and when I graduated from law school, I took a job with Child Protective Services as an investigator, investigating child abuse.
Wow, that's very important and sensitive.
Yes, it was definitely a tough job.
You really enjoy doing it? It's something that you gotta have a passion for.
You have to, I mean, more than just a passion for it, you have to have the tough skin for it. And for me, it was a little too much.
And I imagine that you have had cases that touch your heart.
Yeah, some cases you don't forget. That's for
good.
sure.
Well, it's part of the your career.
Yes.
Very good. Listen, you live in different cities, different states. New Jersey, Texas, Virginia,
New Mexico.
and New Mexico. Tell me a little bit, what is the difference when you are a professional person working in different states in the United States?
Well, I got licensed in New Jersey, so I've never lawyered anywhere else.
Okay.
But in terms of living outside of the state of New Jersey, there's nothing that compares to New Jersey at the end of the day. I mean, I hate to say it.
And Union City is part of New Jersey.
And Union City is part of New Jersey.
The Dream City.
And for me, a lot of my memories are tied to Union City, or at least to Hudson County for sure. But the difference is mostly diversity. There isn't that much diversity in other states. That's number one. And then, even though the cost of living is cheaper, you don't have the same luxuries that you have in New Jersey and in New York.
Exactly.
And, everything's closed early in the South and in the West. So it's
That's
not
good.
as fun.
That's good to know. Turning the page, we're going back to tenants. How do you see the future? I mean, let's say the United States future in terms of tenants and paying on time. You think in the future going to be a tougher time for the tenants?
Look, I'm not psychic, so it's hard for me to say exactly what I think will happen nationally, but I know that at least in the state of New Jersey, it's going to be...
But it reflects in
yeah,
what
it does
happened in one
reflect.
state, reflects in
You're
others.
right, it does. And especially in New Jersey, the rent prices are going up a lot, and we still dealing with a lot of the non-payments. So I think it's going to get harder before it gets easier.
You know why this is the Dream City? Because we try here through the rent control
yes.
to keep rent prices that low-income family, poor family can keep their houses and apartments here.
And you have a lot of assistance as well, a lot of programs
exactly.
that are
through Mayor Stack and the commissioners.
Yes. It's all of the things that you guys offer your residents is incredible.
Do you know personally Mayor Stack and Senator Stack?
I have met him. Yes.
Very good person.
Yes, great
He
guy.
is in pro of what you do, helping tenants, helping immigrants, and things like that. And that's good to know that you know him. Okay.
Yeah.
This is really not for nothing, but this is a city that tends to help immigrants, poor people, and everybody is the same here. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, if you're rich, from where you are. No, everybody's treated the same here, and you know that.
I remember that. I know that.
Can you tell the young people, this generation, it's worth it to go to school?
Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, even with the debt, the money that you're gonna make when you graduate is gonna be worth it. When you think about the legacy that you're leaving for your family, the better job, the better quality of life that you're gonna have, I definitely think that school is something that everyone should at least attempt to do, even if it's just community
Exactly.
college.
And we understand, like, young people, they like to go to the movie, vacation, this and dancing. But I think there is time for everything and for every time in life.
Yeah.
But education is the tool to be successful in life.
I agree. I completely agree.
Is there anything that you could add to this conversation or interview that maybe we didn't cover or you wish to tell the community?
I just want to thank you for having me. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk to your viewers and to let them know about how wonderful Union City, the Dream City, has been to me and my family.
Very good. So I really appreciate that you took the time. I know lawyers are always busy, but you took the time to come to Union City for this interview. Union City, New Jersey, the Dream City. As every Sunday, we have a special guest, but today I feel that you were very special.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.